New here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in. This past week, I did a short on alignment, and I just felt like I needed to kind of dive deeper into, why it's so important for us to, not only be aligned with God, but stay aligned and understand, how important the alignment is. Just looking back on my journey where I've walked this life with a lot of people, right? And there was some good people that have entered my life and, have taught me some things. I've grown from them. And there was a time in my life where I had to shed some things as well, some things, some people. And you guys can attest to this, right? As you grow, things start falling off. It's just like a flower, right? We plant it, it starts growing, it goes through these seasons, it dies out, limbs fall off, and then when summer, spring come, they spring back up as new, right? So that's how our life is, and it is so important for us to get on this walk with God. That is so important. And that just starts with a simple God, I surrender my life to you. I want more of you. And how do I do that, right? With me, it started with prayer. And, prayer just got me deeper into, what the real calling was, which is to share the good news and share God's gospel. And that's what we should all be out here doing. But I really specifically feel like this message is for someone. Maybe you're going through a season in your life and it's hard for you to let go right now of a particular thing or a particular person. But I'm here to tell you that God is saying it's time now. It's time to shed and move on. And that is so that he can push you and grow you to that next level, right? There is a next for you and he wants to do that. But with the weight and the baggage, he can't push you, he can't push you there. And he has to trust that we are done with that particular situation or person before those blessings start to flourish. So with being aligned, we have to remember to keep our lamps filled with oil, and that oil is the word. We have to keep our lamps filled with oil. We have to keep a clear mind. Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind and don't be conformed to this world. So that clearing mind, mental clarity is going to help us hear from God and give us discernment because he's talking to us. But if the background is too loud, we can't hear what God is trying to say to us. So keep your lamps filled with oil. Stay in the word. Stay in the word. Ask God to point you in the direction, point you to the book that is relating to your situation at this time. And he will do that, guys. He will do that. You have to shed, you have to detach, you have to get rid of things, and God will show you how to do that. And that's because they no longer serve the season that you're in, right? They no longer serve that. And I said that on that short that, you know, people have to go, things have to go, they have to shed. And the analogy that I gave about, plants, flowers, trees, everything that grow, they sprout up and then things on them die, and they have to shed off for that root to flourish into that pretty tree or that pretty flower that it is. And again, that's just like our life. The roots have to be planted, and we're planting our roots in God, and those vines, those things that we need in our season, that new you comes to fruition. God gives us clear discernment on how to walk in each season. And it goes back to the oil, which is the word that shows us and tells us how to do it. Everything we've done, everything that's being done on this earth has been spoke about in that Bible. So there is no season that you're going to go through that he does not already have instructions for. I'm going to say that again. There is no season that you're going to go through that God doesn't already have instructions for. Okay. So that's why it's so important to, keep that lamp filled with oil. And it's so important to shed and detach and get rid of those things, because you don't want those things weighing you down. When you're trying to move through this season, you can't even hear clear from God because you are distracted by these things that once had your attention. God Almighty. So I tell y'all today, it's time to shed. Don't be sorry for letting go and letting God shift you. Do not be sorry for letting go and letting God shift you. It is time. It is necessary. And like I said, this is for somebody out there going through it, battling in their mind. Is it time to stay or is it time to go? And I'm here to tell you it's time to go. It's time to shift, my sister. It's time to shift, my brother. It's time to shed, my sister. It's time to shed, my brother. It is time to put yourself in position to allow God to write your story, because that's who's in control. That's who's in control. God is writing your story, and he wants you to surrender your life to him so he can make it plain and clear on the direction you're headed. See, sometimes we don't have that mental clarity, so we can't discern, when people are for coming to our space for a season, or if they're permanently meant to stay. You can't get that on your own. You have to get that through God. And with that, you got to spend time with God. You got to spend time in the word, grow that connection, get deeper with God. Because that right there is going to allow you to see life from a whole different lens. When you're of this world and you're in this world, and you got those of us that are not of this world, we're in God's world, we're walking this walk with God, man. Having a conversation, just a small conversation with somebody is different. And you'll start to begin to see that your taste and desires for certain things will diminish. Once you start walking with God and get that mental clarity that he so desires all of us to have. Everybody is not meant to be a part of your next. Remember that. We go through seasons so that we can learn and grow. And we also go through those seasons so that we can share with those people and they grow. So I hope this message has been a blessing to you. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to hear more from me. And also, if you feel like somebody can learn from this or use this message, I pray that you share it. I pray that you share it. I pray that you all be blessed. You can also follow me on TikTok and join in on the Sunday. I'm going to be doing the worship and prayer service, and this will be a time for people to come on and do testimonies and really just get that push through that you need, healing, anxiety, all of the things that we go through in this world that we deal with. I want to see you delivered from that. So again, you guys be blessed. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.